Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really fascinating case study about making strategic choices under insane pressure. We're going to look at an organization facing a real make-or-break moment, where one wrong move could mean the end. So how does an organization that's been around for centuries adapt when its proven model just breaks? Well, let's get right into it by looking at a group facing that exact crisis, the Demon Slayer Corps. I mean, these guys have been successful for generations, right? But now, everything they know, the very ground they stand on, is shifting. First things first, to really get a handle on their dilemma, we need to understand the world they live in. What was their secret sauce? What was the model that worked so well for literally centuries? For generations, the Corps has basically been humanity's hidden shield. Think about it. They're this private, super specialized group with one and only one critical mission: protect people from demons. They're the unseen line of defense, operating in the shadows against this constant, relentless threat. And for a long time, the way they were structured was their biggest advantage. See, they weren't some big, clunky army. Nope, they were this decentralized network of absolute pros, elite mobile specialists who are masters of swordsmanship. A threat pops up here, they send a slayer. Another one over there, they send another. It was reactive, it was nimble, and man, it worked like a charm. So, what happens when the enemy changes the rules of the game, when the threat itself evolves? Because this, right here, is where their proven model starts to show some serious cracks. The enemy has evolved, and I don't just mean they got tougher, they got smarter. The attacks are no longer these isolated one-off incidents. Now it's a coordinated systemic assault. They're hitting multiple places at the same time. This isn't just about fighting a stronger demon anymore. It's a whole new kind of war. And this slide, wow, it just lays out the problem perfectly. The old model versus the new reality. Their reactive response was great for isolated threats. Their decentralized structure was a strength. But now, that same structure is their biggest weakness. Against a coordinated attack, their elite specialists are just stretched way too thin. The very thing that made them great is now threatening to break them. So this brings the Corp to a strategic crossroads, a classic high-stakes business dilemma, really. They've hit this major inflection point, and honestly, there's no obvious right answer. The path forward is super murky. Yeah, the source material just nails it with this quote. I mean, talk about pressure. This is a textbook case of strategic choice. It's not about finding the perfect answer, because there isn't one. It's about finding the best possible move when the stakes are, the end of the world. And here's the kicker. With a finite number of people and a limited budget, every single decision becomes a critical trade-off. They just can't be everywhere at once. Every slayer they send to one village is a slayer they can't send to another. Every bit of money spent on new swords is money they can't spend on training. It's a zero-sum game. Okay, so they're at a crossroads. What can they do? Let's look at the solution space. The analysis actually breaks it down into 4 pretty distinct strategic paths they could choose. And let's be clear, each one comes with its own focus and its own sacrifice. All right, check this out. We've got 4 potential paths. Path 1 is all about perfecting service, basically doubling down on what they're already great at. Path 2, targeting communities, is about triage, prioritizing specific high-risk areas. Path 3 is strengthening from within, which means more recruitment and better training. And finally, Path 4, cultivating resolve. This one is about the long game, bolstering morale and making the whole organization more sustainable. What's so cool is that they all make sense, but they are completely different ways to tackle the problem. So that's the core question, isn't it? Do you double down on what you already do best? Or do you have to fundamentally change how you operate just to survive? It's a classic dilemma, and it's a question leaders in any field have to face all the time. And this is where it all comes together. This isn't just a cool story. The Corps's dilemma. It's a powerful metaphor for a very real-world problem that pretty much every organization on the planet has to deal with. In the business world, they have a name for this: strategic prioritization. It's a fancy term, but it really just means figuring out where to point your limited resources to get the biggest bang for your buck. It's the process of making those tough calls, directing your time, your money, your people toward the stuff that will actually help you achieve your mission. And this is why it matters to you. Because guess what? All organizations have finite resources. Your company, my company, even just a small project team. You've only got so much time, money, and people. You can't be great at everything all at once. And here's a key takeaway. Sometimes, the most important strategic choice isn't what you decide to do, but what you decide to stop doing. So it all comes back to this. Their resources are finite. Their mission is critical. What will they sacrifice? And that's the question I want to leave you with. When you face your own crossroads, when your resources are stretched thin and your mission is on the line, what's your choice going to be? What will you sacrifice to win?